welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading. And what that is you, the viewer, get to choose from one of 3 tarot decks, and we'll just go ahead and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for the next 7 days. We have a saying in card reading. We say, take what resonates and leave the rest. So, this video is for entertainment purposes only. And I like to think of card reading like dream interpretation. So we just look at the symbols and see what we think they mean. So if you feel like only a part of the video resonates, just take the little nuggets that come out of the read. Also, if you're drawn to more than one pile, please feel free to check it out. If, one pile or all 3, whatever you choose. Sometimes there's little bits of information in each deck. Now, it does not need to be the week of January 2nd through January 10th, 2021 in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this video at any time, there may be messages contained for you. Now, we do give you a choice of 3 tarot decks, and today I'm going to be clarifying with the musical oracles. And I was just really drawn to use this deck. It's interesting. I had used this deck to clarify not too long ago, and I do have a lot of oracle decks, but I was just really drawn to do it and to use this deck in particular. And it's interesting. I have a favorite author. Her name is J.R. Ward, and she always says, "I just do what my Rice Krispies tell me to do." Right? I write what my Rice Krispies tell me to. So I'm kind of following my Rice Krispies. I'm following my gut instinct. Also, the third deck is a new deck that I got recently. And I'm going to be using it in this read. I will also be using it for the next How to Tarot. How to Tarot is the other video series I post here every Tuesday. And what it is we talk about the meaning of one of the 78 card tarot, and then the second half of the video is a read to see how that card manifests in your life. So I thought about it. I was like, okay, let me go with I thought about using a different deck than the one, I try not to have back-to-back videos using the same materials, but this is a new deck. I am stupid excited about it. I did also recently post a deck review and flip through here on my channel for this deck. So if you like the cards, if you like the images, and you want to see more, do a flip through and learn more about the deck, please feel free to check that out. It's here on my playlist, and it was posted last week. So first off, I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's. It was a wonderful day. It was a peaceful day. I got flowers. I got garden roses. I've never had roses like this before. It was red roses with green centers, and I never realized that was called a garden rose. And they are so fragrant. They're absolutely so beautiful. So I kind of, that was a real treat. And so my New Year's was very wonderful, and I hope yours is blessed as well. I know 2020 was a very hard year, and it was a challenging one. It was a way for all of us to adapt and survive. And I do hope that now that we are in 2021, that things get better, that things evolve, and that everyone is well. So we'll go ahead, and enough blabbing, we'll go ahead and get started. We do have 3 decks here. The first deck is the Morgan Greer Tarot, and this is actually, it's the second deck I ever bought, but it's the first deck I formally learned tarot on. And on top of it is a beautiful piece of sea glass. The second deck is the Starseeker Tarot by the Van Mystic. And I did also do a deck review and flip through. If you like these cards, that video is here in my playlist. And on top of it is a piece of amethyst. And it's actually the first stone I've ever bought. So this is a vintage stone, and it means a lot to me. And it always pairs so well with that deck. The last deck is the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani. And this is my most recent deck. We did just do a flip through and review for it recently. And that's also here on my playlist and my channel. And on top of it is a piece of beautiful clear quartz. And of course, as I said in the introduction, I was really drawn. I've used these cards recently, but something told me, okay, use them again for this read. So we're going to be clarifying using the music oracle. And on top of it, I have a guitar pick. So I thought that was appropriate. I couldn't just, put any stone on that. So we're going to go ahead and use a guitar pick for that. But I do ask that you please choose from your intuition, whatever pulls you, in the center of your chest, or if you like the timestamp or the number, whatever draws you to the deck. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Let me go ahead and we'll move up the other decks. And again, I hope everyone had a wonderful New Year, New Year's Day. That it was fun and enjoyable. So let's go ahead and see what's our energy like for the first week of the new year, or whenever you're coming across this video. I'm just going to give it a quick shuffle. So beginning of the week, deck number 1. What's our energy for the week? This is really popping out. Middle of the week, please. End of the week, please. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this underneath this. Oh, wow, we've got some majors coming here. End of the week. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I'm seeing Magician, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and the Fool. Ooh, someone's trying to take a leap of faith here, guys. All right, let's go ahead and get your musical oracle. I did want to point out I got Diana Ross on the bottom when I was just like shuffling this, and I thought this was great. It says, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing in a ball gown. I thought that was awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Ooh. There's quite a bit of water imagery because like the Queen of Cups was trying to come out. And Diana Ross is coming out again. I'm going to go ahead and read this. This was on the bottom of the deck, but it was trying to pop out when I was first shuffling the cards. So we'll go ahead and include it just as kind of like an add-on. Wow, guys. So beginning of the week, you've got the Hanged Man. And I get the sense that, again, this being right after the New Year's Day, I feel like, the Hanged Man is about spiritual suspension. It's kind of like seeing something in a whole new light. So I feel like after your, I'm not saying this real clearly. Here, let me get my thoughts together. You know how when New Year's Day comes, I actually have a tradition. I like to scrapbook. I like to journal my memories. I like to write stories and, journal the events of my life and scrapbook pictures and things like that. And every year I create a list of resolutions, right? And what I do is it's kind of an annual tradition. On the last day of the year, I go back and look at the resolutions from the beginning of the year. And it's interesting. It seems like it never fails. It seems like 1/3 of the traditions, 1/3 of what I expected to happen came true. 1/3 gets postponed to another year. And then it seems like 1/3 of it is like really surprise, like really blessings from the universe, like stuff I didn't expect to happen. So I think what's happening is at the beginning of your week, because again, that is going to be, the day after New Year's Day. I think you're just you're looking back. I think this is going to be a reflective New Year's Day for you. Not in the cliche sense. I think you really are looking at the past year, because again, these are majors. You've got 3 majors here. I really see that you're looking at the past year. You're also looking at current events. And you're thinking about, you're in a state of suspension about it, but it's almost like you have a whole new understanding about where you are. Right. I really get this sense like you're planning. It's almost like you're contemplating your next move, and you're in a really really good place to do that because it's almost like you're looking at what's happened in the past. You're looking at where you are now, and then you're using that information to plan where you want to go. Now, the other thing that I get is that I have a feeling that some of the circumstances that you've been facing, you've probably been really resisting. Like, there's a few circumstances that you might have gotten mad at or been frustrated by, or, you felt like you wanted to move, but you can't move, right? Because the hangman looks like he's very uncomfortable. But when you look at his face, it's an uncomfortable position to be hung up by one foot, right? And it's almost like, if you had both feet free, you could walk wherever you wanted to go, right? You could run anywhere you wanted to go. But when you look at his face, he's very calm. He's very placid. That he's pensive, like he's contemplating, right? So I think you've accepted where you are. If there was anything in the last, year or the, leading up to this moment that you felt has kept you back, it's almost like you're starting to understand why, right? That there's a higher purpose to I'm getting a strong sense of divine detours, right? Maybe there were a few roadblocks, and you got frustrated by them, but when you look at it in a new light, it was a blessing, right? It was a blessing. But I do see that what you are is, I think you're starting to see a new you're seeing some kind of situation in your life in a whole new light, and you're understanding the higher spiritual reason behind it. And I also get the sense that you might be appreciating it a little bit. I have a feeling like something that you felt like was an obstacle is actually a blessing, and you're starting to understand what a blessing it was. And I also think that you've grown real spiritually. But I think at the beginning of the week you're really reflecting on that. I do think that you are ready to move forward, but it's almost like right now you are standing still, like you're not ready to move yet, but it's almost like you're understanding why you've been in a holding pattern, right? And this could be world events as well. If something was, delayed or put on a shelf, or, something about social distancing maybe taught you. You know how it is. Sometimes the universe has to get us to sit still. And, when you're restless, ha- I've talked to a lot of people this year who have revelations about that. You think, oh, okay, I have to go out to eat to every night, right? And this last year has really taught us, no, you don't have to go out to eat every night. You can buy food for a week and learn how to cook, right? Also, maybe some of the things that you used to buy all the time, you've learned, oh, okay, I don't need to buy that every single time. I think all of us have kind of gone through a paradigm shift. Also, I do get the sense that maybe this could be career wise, where you're thinking about what's going to happen in the next year based on where you've been, but you've been sitting still, or you've been forced to sit still up until this point, but now you're comfortable with that inaction, right? The other thing that I kind of get is that I also look at the hangman and think that maybe you're meditating, or maybe you're doing some kind of yoga, stationary yoga that lets you kind of think. So I do kind of I think of that when I see the hanged man, just because it talks about kind of bending yourself into a position that's not natural. It's not, standing upright, shoulders back, but it definitely helps. This could also be Pilates or yoga, but I am getting more of like a meditation kind of, it's almost like you're forcing yourself to sit still. Now, the middle of the week, you got some interesting energy here. You've got the root of your energy is justice, and the crown of it is the Six of Wands. So I definitely feel like by the middle of the week you're gonna feel you know you're gonna feel like a little bit you're gonna feel victorious about something. Now, it could be a legal matter, or it could be, honestly, when you look at justice, sometimes that can be marriage, because it's a little bit of a Libra card. Um, Also, I kind of see a balance here. Like, I almost get a sense like maybe if something was held up, um, by the middle of the week, you're going to come to, there's going to be a fair decision made about this circumstance. But even though it's going to be fair, like it would be, what I'm kind of seeing here is like, maybe there was some kind of bill that you had to pay, and it was, the bill was created by both you and your spouse, or maybe by you and your sibling. And then a fair decision is made as to, okay, who pays what part. But it's a fair decision. It's not like ruling in your favor to the disadvantage of the other person. But I think this ruling, even though it's fair, really makes you feel victorious. It's like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. The other thing that I kind of get from this is maybe, again, with you holding back, you looking at a situation in a new perspective. Maybe there was some kind, I'm not seeing so much money involved with this, but I do see that some kind of, this could also be some kind of judgment of character. Maybe in the past you had to, um, sometimes when you have those situations where your character comes into question, it could be something at work, it could be something in your friend group. But I definitely think that this is all, with these three majors being in play. I feel like this has been a long time coming. Like the majors are like the bigger events in your life. And when you see majors in a weekly read, it just means that these bigger events in your life are manifesting in your weekly read. So there is something major, there's something big happening this week. But I do get the feeling like some kind of fair judgment is going to go down, and it's going to make you feel like victorious, right? The other thing that I kind of get is that maybe you have been waiting a long time for this. You've been waiting for a long time, and then finally, the other thing that I got was, when I was shuffling, there was the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups and the Fool. Um, to be honest, guys, this could be something legal, like you getting your marriage license. It's quite possible, and in this last year there's a lot of weddings that have been postponed. I was about to say proposed. um, Actually, in that case, because that kind of popped out and that was a Freudian slip, it's quite possible you've been waiting to try to propose to someone, because the Page of Pentacles is holding a pentacle, and that can be like, I often think of it. Usually, I see it with the Knight, but depending on the energy, that can be you having the ability to move forward with buying a ring for someone, or, and also with the Queen of Cups being emotions. That could be your emotions, or you could be the Queen of Cups and someone wants to bring a rock to you. Um, but but here I definitely see. I mean, this can. I'm not getting a real divorce thing, but I am almost getting like a fair ruling, and it's because I am also getting that. You know what I'm almost getting is that maybe this has been delayed for a really long time, and you've patiently waited, but you have had moments where you weren't patient. There was probably in the back of your head, you're like, okay, is this ever going to get resolved? And I do feel like something by the middle of the week, there is something that's going to make you feel very victorious. The other way that I can read this is, it is quite possible. These are mostly wands, so that wands can be, action is usually action. But one other thing that I can see this is that you could have been waiting for some kind of recognition from work. And again, same scenario. In the last year, a lot of things got stymied. Like, oh, okay, keep doing a bang up job at your position. We'll get around to you once the world insanity dies down, and it's been ongoing. But I do think that but with justice, I am almost getting more of like a legal, or I am kind of sensing possibly money. um, but it's almost like this decision is going to not only make you feel victorious, it's going to give you something that was yours to have, and it's going to end this cycle of waiting. Even though I think I'm getting a sense like when this whole situation started, you were very impatient, and then at this point you've waited so long that you've almost gotten into your Zen mind. You're almost like, okay, let me let it go and give it to God or give it to my higher power, which is meditation. And then finally, it's almost like the watched pot never boils. The moment that you let it go and you accept it, then these accolades come to you. Now, the end of the week is really quite interesting. You've got the Emperor and the Ace of Rods. So I am, this could be a work thing, because the emperor is looking over at this soldier. The emperor is the king of kings. He's the ruler of kings, and here you have this person who looks like the leader. Like, he looks like a general, right? um, it is quite possible that you finally got your due. Maybe you've got some kind of promotion. The other thing is that this could very well be a father or grandfather figure. um, you could have settled some kind of financial or some kind of you know, um, some kind of legal settlement. Um, and the other thing that I kind of get is this could be your energy. I'm really getting a feeling like it's an emperor in your life, though. And I am getting like it's an older figure, like a mentor or like a boss. So I definitely think that, it's almost like middle of the week, you're getting a lot of recognition. It seems like it's your due. It's something that's been a long time coming and that you've deserved to have. Either that or it's some kind of settlement that really makes you feel like a winner. And then the two ways I can read the end of the week is that you're either dealing with a real father figure, like or a boss, and again, the Ace of Wands is this could be a brand new project. You know how it is the moment that I'm almost thinking of like a general coming back from a victory. That he's kind of recognized by his emperor, by his I'm really getting a boss, like you did some kind of job really well done and you finally um either that or if there was any type of legal, it's finally settled and you're getting accolades. And but this is definitely a really strong father figure. I am getting a strong boss figure, and it's almost like you're getting a fresh start, or you might be given a new project under a new title, like you've been promoted. Okay, congratulations, all of this is settled, and your boss is coming to you and asking for like a new project. Now, the other way that I can read it is if you are a woman watching this, it's quite possible that maybe your boyfriend or spouse is finally settling some kind of legal dispute or got some kind of promotion at work. And he's going to be like in a position of leadership. um, or you could be in a position of leadership where you are really starting. There's the potential to really start afresh with something, because this is the Ace of Rods, right? That's that passionate new start. And the Emperor is the counterpart to the Empress. And I saw the Page of Pentacles and I saw the Queen of Cups. Now, the other thing is that it could quite possibly be that, you could be, if you've had a long engagement with someone and it's been delayed because of world events, and if you're the Queen of Cups and maybe you even have a child with this person, it's almost like they're actually able to move forward. They're able to move forward with a fresh start. And by the end of the week, you have an emperor coming into your life. This is someone real strong. They, maybe again, if they have a promotion at work, they're ready to start something new. But this is almost, I'm getting a real kind of, I am getting a little bit of a sexual vibe from this because the Ace of Rods. So you might have someone who's really coming forth ready to be your emperor. And again, they might be also, if this is like a promotion thing, someone might be kind of bringing you a gift, some kind of gift, because the Page of Pentacles, something. But also with the Page of Pentacles, it can be them bringing you something that is of value to you, like of personal value. And with the Fool, it's almost like they're ready to jump off that cliff with you. It's no more hanged man energy. So this is a really great week. I really get the sense that, beginning of the week, you're still going to be a little bit in limbo. Middle of the week, something gets, you get your just desserts. You get what is due to you. The other thing is that if you're a woman watching this man coming back to you, being the emperor, being the strong person, bringing you a gift, taking a leap of faith, it's what you deserve. If you've been waiting for this for a long time, you've deserved an emperor, and someone who's of that caliber is going to be coming in by the end of the week. Now, the two music cards that you got is you got Kurt Cobain, and it says, "We're all in this mess together, so we might as well make some noise. Don't become your own tribute band, and you can't buy Teen Spirit." And then Diana Ross, which came out as I was shuffling the cards, it says, "Make sure they never see the last of you. Make sure that they never see the last of you. If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing in a ball gown, and you can be a better you than anyone else." Wow, guys. You know what? You know what I'm almost getting is that I am getting a sense that maybe, we're all in this mess together, so we might as well make some noise. I think someone has really been contemplating this. Um, and you can't buy Teen Spirit. I get that something that has been a long time coming is going to come to you in the middle of the week, and by the end of the week, you're just going to feel like, you know, um, like go big or go home is what I'm getting. Go big or go home. And but I get it. I truly get that this is something that you really, really deserve, and it's something you've been patiently waiting for, and it's your justice. It's your justice. And if you have been waiting for someone to approach you, they are going to come in. They are going to come in not like a king. They're going to come in like a freaking emperor. They're going to own it. And that's what I'm getting with the if a job's worth doing, do it. It's worth doing in a ball gown. If someone comes in and makes an effort towards you, maybe brings you a gift, I really think they're going to go all out, and I think it's something that you've been waiting for a long time. So, wow, guys, that's a great week. That's a really great week. I'm really happy for you. That's wonderful energy. All right, so deck number 2, the Starseeker Tarot. And this is a gorgeous deck. It's a really thick cardstock, but it's such a pretty deck. It's like little pieces of art. Okay, so deck number 2. What's your energy for the week? Ooh, okay. Okay, middle of the week, please. All right, this is just flipping out. Okay, end of the week, please. End of the week. Ooh. Okay, please clarify the Five of Pentacles, please. Please clarify the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Wow, gosh, guys. I think this being the first week of the new year, I think there were 3 majors in the first deck. So let's go ahead and get your music oracle. Deck number 2. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry, that's way too many cards. I'm gonna need to. Okay, one card, please. Please clarify. Okay, wow. All right, guys, so you got 3 majors. The first one is a minor, but the root of it is I asked for clarification. And so beginning of the week, you got the 5 of Pentacles, and you've got the root of that energy is temperance. So I definitely get, and I do feel, I'm so sorry, guys. The beginning of the week, you're going to feel, it is going to feel a little bit, I'm getting a strong sense that you're going to feel a little short on money. And with, temperance is like recalibration. It's balancing 2 cups. And in those 2 cups, it's usually fire and water. And what I'm kind of getting is I'm getting a strong sense of need versus want. And I am very sorry for that because goodness knows, anytime, and believe me, I have been there. I know exactly what you mean. I get a sense that the beginning of the week, it's going to be one of those things where you're really going to be deciding, okay, I feel like the budget is really, really tight. And it's just one of those need versus wants kind of things. If you're watching this at the time the video post, we did just come out of a holiday season. It could have been one of those things where, you spent a little extra money on presents. Maybe then the budget is stretched when it comes to groceries, when it comes to, gas for the car if you have to go places, or electricity. But I'm getting a strong sense that you're balancing it, but it is a little bit of that, it's a lot of need versus wants. It's like saying, okay, and especially if you have a family, you're really feeling like, okay, so and so wants this, they want to go do this with their friends, but we really can't spend the money on that right now because we have to pay for groceries, we have to pay the electric bill, we can't, I'm getting a strong kind of scarcity mindset here, but it's you're balancing it, but it's been a hard road. I think you're really tired. You see this person leaning against the tree. The other thing is that the tree in this, I am getting a sense of family. It could be that there's bills that are related to family, the Five of Pentacles can also be a little bit of ill health. So I'm so sorry if this is related to any type of hospital or medical bills. It might not even be world event related. Maybe you're paying off somebody's dentist bill, or but it's causing you to be very paycheck to paycheck, and it's pushing you to make those really tough decisions of like, okay, what is the priority here, right? The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that I think that you are trying to keep out of a scarcity mindset. You know how we always say, if you've ever read the book, Rhonda Byrd's The Secret, she talks about creative manifestation. What energy follows thought. If you tell yourself, okay, I don't have any money, then what's going to happen? You don't have any money. But if you tell yourself that, okay, the other thing I kind of get is this being right after the new year. I really get a sense that you want to get out of that mindset. You're tired of being in that place of always kind of needing to make ends meet. The other thing that I do kind of get from this is that I do feel like with Temperance having an angel on it, I do think that angels are looking out for you. If I'm hoping that in the beginning of the week that maybe something also that you might get a windfall to help balance things out, and that that you're not feeling as stretched. But I do think that it's taking a lot of balance. I think the other thing I kind of get is it's been a little bit up and down, a little bit feast and famine. Like one minute, we have enough, and then the next minute it's very, very, the finances are thin. The other thing that I kind of get is that I do see in this cup, when you see two cups blending, I do also get a sense that you might want to kind of mind your health a little bit. It's been a tough year, believe me. I know, and if you're in North America, it's been winter time. I feel like all of us have been kind of neglecting our health. It's funny. I've through world events, through the pandemic, I've tried to exercise every day. I've tried to drink more water, but then we're so stationary. There's no separation between work and home. If you're working remotely, your workspace and your home space, it's all all together. It does make you feel very worn down. The other thing that I kind of get is I am getting a sense of family here. I'm getting a sense of like financial burden that's related to family members. So it could be the health of other family members, but I think it's also pulling down your health as well. One other I do kind of see with it being 2 cups, I do think that maybe, if you have been, eating more junk food, or, drinking more, or maybe not drinking enough water, maybe not getting out in nature enough, it might encourage you to do that. The other thing that I kind of get is, you see how this person is just kind of curled up in a ball. They're not even like looking around them. One beautiful thing about this time of year is that I know the trees are, it's very cold out. And that's the other thing that I'm kind of getting here, is that it's almost like the motivation is flagging, it's so cold out. Even if you did, the sun, if you're in North America, we're in daylight savings time, where the sun sets at like 4:45 p.m., which is like, you get up in the morning, you blink, and then the day is over. And it causes a lot of seasonal affective disorder. You're not getting enough sunlight, you're not seeing the light of day, even if you do get outside for 5 minutes. So I think it is nice to get like a 5 to 10 minute walk, even if it's like a walk around the block. Maybe just a walk to your mailbox, during the day when the sun is out. I know the trees look so barren, and I know it's really, really cold, but if you get a chance to actually get outside and look around, the fresh air really does, even if it's 5 minutes, really does do you good. But I'm getting a strong sense that, again, I feel like, motivation is lagging. Maybe you just feel a little out of shape. Maybe feel like, also, what we put in our bodies really does, and I'm very guilty of it. We're coming out of the holidays. I've eaten so much chocolate. I saw this adorable meme that said, "Oh, up until the 25th, everybody's festive, and then from the 25th to the 31st, I'm full of cheese. I don't know what day it is." And believe me, I feel you. I totally feel you. But it is almost like saying, okay, temperance is like asking you to balance that out a little bit. If you have been drinking more alcohol, try to drink more water, or the other thing is, you can kind of wean yourself out of those habits. It's not saying that any of those habits gotten out of hand, but, in the wintertime, the days are short. Same thing goes with coffee and caffeine. I'm a coffee drinker. If you drink 2 cups a day, maybe you take yourself down to a cup and a half, and then to a cup, and then to a half a cup. Maybe then switch to half calf, and then decaf. Try to wean yourself down, and I guarantee you'll start to feel better. If you've been sleeping in a lot, sleeping at odd hours of the day, maybe slowly try to get yourself back into a routine of getting up in the morning. The other thing is, try to stick to that routine, because I know it's hard, but the moment that you, continually get up at the same time and then go to sleep at the same time, I just really get a sense that it's asking you to kind of recalibrate or rebalance your schedule, so you don't feel so lethargic. Um, Now, the middle of the week is really great. Actually, this is a good sign. It says, you got strength. And I am getting a lot about, I'm seeing a lot of sun and moon here, guys. I'm seeing a lot of sun and moon. I am getting the sense that it's almost telling us that maybe you've been kind of a night owl. You've been staying up late at night. And if that's your normal routine, no harm, no foul. We're not saying anything is bad. Everyone's got their own system. But what I see is, I see the bright sun, and then I see kind of like the muted sun, like the sun is going down. But then you've got the lion, and you've got this is the number 8, right? And actually, you got 2 5s here: the 5 of Pentacles and 14, which is a 5. So I do get the sense that maybe by the middle of the week, you might be feeling a little bit better. Maybe you do have a New Year's resolution to, give up chocolate, give up caffeine, start eating better, start walking every day. Maybe, and I think if you are committing to something like that, right off the cuff, like right as you start doing it, it's almost like, only a few days in, you're gonna start to feel how much better you feel. Um, the other thing that I get is, I do feel like angels are looking out for you. I think you do. If whatever you believe in, if you believe in God and spirit guides and your higher power, animal guides, or the universe, I think that I think it's, team pile 2 this week. but I do think that the other thing I kind of get is that I think if this is money related, by the middle of the week, the paycheck might come in. Maybe you get paid on a Wednesday, because it's almost like you're just, you're balancing, you're calibrating until you're staying strong, right? You're staying strong. The other thing that I get is that I do see the strength, because strength is about taming, the more primal side of yourself. So I do think that you're going to be dedicated to this change, right? I think you do. I think this is new year related. Like you want to make changes in your life, and I think you're really going to start. You're going to start off strong. Um, the other thing that I kind of get is that, again, if this is about changing habits, you're really going to try to stick to that new routine. Um, the other thing that I get is that if this is money related, it's almost like you're staying strong by the middle of the week, because if this has been related to like worry, because again, if you're dealing with a stressful situation, sometimes it's not just financially burdensome, it can be emotionally and psychologically burdensome as well, but it's almost like you're trying to stay strong. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Fool. And this is really beautiful, guys. This is gorgeous energy. First off, you got all these suns in the background. You got a lot of solar energy here. I think by the end of the week, you're going to be feeling much better. The other thing I get is you see, it's kind of like stepping stones, and you see all these suns in the sky. The other thing is you see on her dress, she's wearing the same dress as the sky color, right? I'm hearing the sky's the limit. The other thing that I'm kind of getting is I'm hearing, you know, oh, is it a Jordan Sparks song? The One Step at a Time. Um, I'll post the name of it in the description box, but you know, um, it's there's beautiful lyrics to that. It talks about just going with the flow and taking it in baby steps, breaking down any obstacle into manageable pieces. That's what I'm kind of getting with the Fool, and that's what I'm kind of seeing here. You're off to a good start. I think you're going to be feeling much better by the weekend. The other thing that I get is that if this is finance related, I think that you're going to get a plan, which is always the best way to handle any type of financial difficulty. Is just say, okay, how do I break this down? How do I handle this? If this has got to be a paycheck by paycheck solution, how can I handle it? How can I set aside enough money to make sure that this gets paid, or how can I handle this just in baby steps? The other thing is that I feel like the universe is really telling you, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Don't try to take on this whole obstacle in one lump sum. Or don't try to make changes, because that tends to set us up for failure, not in a bad way, but anytime you say, oh, well, I'm just going to completely give up coffee, cold turkey. Yes, there are people who can do that, but a lot of times it is gradual. Gradual is the, one, step. I'm hearing stepping stones, right? And I feel like in the middle of the week, you're going to feel, I do get a strong sense of regaining your strength. But you're going from this person here to the Fool. So you do have a great new start, coming your way, but try not to, don't bite off more than you can chew. Just look for the next step. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Just stay strong, and again, I am getting needs versus wants. Stay strong and just do the next step. And then after that, look to the next step and the next step. And this girl does have like a snake coiled around her arm. And I do see that, with snakes, they talk about cycles, the alpha and the omega. It is talking about beginning a new cycle. It might also be talking about shedding old habits, like shedding old skin. So, but that's really wonderful, guys. And the Fool is such a great energy, because it's the other thing that I get from this is that the universe totally has your back. Whatever it is that, however you're starting your new year, the beginning of the week, you might feel a little down and out, but by the end of the week, you're going to feel like, okay, this is a new start, and I'm going to do this. That's what I keep hearing. I'm going to do this. Now, the music card that you got is you got Ravi Shankar, and it says, always read and play between the lines. Your true nature is reflected in silence. Music is the infinite space between two souls. So, music might also be really speaking to you. I've always noticed that, and that's maybe why I was drawn to use this deck for the clarification, is that music is always such a comfort, especially when times are tough. It's like, lyrics and melody, they just they convey what you're feeling inside, and they speak to you, and it gives you such advice, right? Sometimes when you feel really lost, or you feel alone, or if you feel in pain, or even when you're happy, you dance, right? So I think that it might be telling you that there might be messages in music as well. The other thing that I get is that the other thing I get is with temperance, the two cups contain fire and water, and I always feel like fire and water is just, fire is action, like dancing, and then water is emotion, which is, I just feel like that relates to music so much. But it says always read and play between the lines. I am getting a strong sense of structure here, and that's kind of funny because, again, temperance is like a balancing, strength is two parallel forces, and the fool is about taking that leap of faith and knowing the universe is going to catch you and the universe is going to support you. So I feel like there's been a lot that you have to keep in balance. Like you almost have to keep in check. I'm getting a strong sense of keeping it in check. But it says if you read and play between the lines, if you kind of follow the rules a little bit, you've got infinite potential to do what you want to do, you're aspiring to do. And the music is the infinite space between two souls. I'm really getting a sense that this is between you and the universe. I think the universe really wants you to manifest some wonderful things. I think you have the potential to do this, but I do think that it's either changing habits, maybe balancing money, or maybe there might be some kind of looming problem either with health of family, money with family. But by the end of the week, you're going to feel a lot stronger. I am getting a strong sense that you're going to get a plan, and you're going to start following that plan as long as you go step by step. I'm also thinking of that great quote from Martin Luther King Jr., where it says, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And that's all you have to see is the step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just go one step at a time. And I'll post the name. I think it's a Jordan Sparks song, but it's called One Step at a Time. It's a little bit of a love song, but I think it pertains to a lot of just, everyday life as well. All right, so last but not least, we have our brand new deck. We have the Tarot of the Divine, and if you get a chance, if you like the images of the deck that you see here, I did do a deck review and walkthrough. This is my newest deck. I'm trying not to have 10 million tarot. I'm going to have to do a purge soon. I'm going to part with, a few of the decks I don't use to make room for new, but... And what better way to start the new year? Let go. Pay forward the old and bring in the new. But all right, so deck number 3. What's our energy for the week? Ooh. Oh, nice. Oh, how fun. Okay, and the middle of the week. Okay. I'm going to go this way because the ace was there. Please clarify. We always clarify the 3 of Swords, right? There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, the first deck also had Justice in the root position, right, same place. So, end of the week, please. Okay, we've got 2 sevens. 2 threes as well. 2 of Swords, King of Cups. All right. Wow, very interesting, guys. Very interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get your... cool. You got Elvis Presley, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and see. Okay, now beginning of the week. Okay. We've got one major, and it was clarifying the biggie card, right? Now, beginning of the week, you got the Ace of Coins and the Six of Coins. Six of Coins. I'm sorry. Let me just think here. I thought this was, well, these two together make 7. And that's 7 of coins. Oh my gosh. So you have both. I'm sorry. I'll just, hold on a second. Got you. Wow, this is really interesting, guys. I'm getting a strong sense that, because the Six of Coins is about, it's about generosity, right? It's about, the Six of Coins is about the beginning of the week. Either you or another person, somebody really, really wants to plant the seed of something new. And again, this being the beginning of the week, this is the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. And the thing about this, the Six of Coins is a fun story. It talks about a woman who was kind to beetles. And beetles in symbology, kind of they are a little bit of talk about regeneration. It's almost about like the beetle in Egyptian mythology, Egyptian lore talks a lot about like almost like regeneration in a soul sense. So what I'm really getting is that in the beginning of the week, it's either your energy or someone who, I'm really getting it's your energy. You really want to plant the seed of something new. The other thing that I kind of get is that I get the sense that maybe for a long time now, you've been kind of, the other thing I'm kind of getting is that, and also with this being the new year, if you're watching this at the time it posts, I really get the sense that maybe, you in the last few years you've really been balancing your finances, possibly between family, or you've been giving your time and you've been giving your money, and pentacles are not always financial, but they are what you value, right? And it's also the physical. So the physical can be your physical body. It can be things that you value, like your time or your energy or your attention. Things that you value are those things in life that are valuable. Just like somebody who says, okay, well, I've been offered this job, but it would require that I work, that I'm salary and that I work up to 60 hours a week. And I have young children at home. I don't want to risk being away from them. I value time with them more than I value money. Right? And that is what pentacles are. It's what you value, what is important to you. And that can be time, that can be money, that can be, property. It's things that hold or retain or gain value. And here I see at the beginning of the week, and again, this being the January 2nd, which is the day after New Year's Day, I think you're deciding. It's almost like you're thinking you kind of, new year and new priorities. You're really thinking about planting the seed of something new. And what you're just like on New Year's Day, you think about all the things that you did in the previous year. And I said it with the first pile as well. And it's interesting, the first pile got justice in the same exact position, second middle of the week, root of the manifestation. So I could have some cross watchers here. I could have one person who watches their read, and then the other person in your situation could be their read, and it kind of connects to one another. But what I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing that I said in the first pile, I like to scrapbook. And every year I have a tradition where I do a list of resolutions. And what I do is I write down and I put just a list of like a bullet point list of about 10 or 15 things that I anticipate or I look forward to doing in the next year. And then what happens is, it's a tradition on December 31st, on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I go back to the book, the beginning of the year, and I pull out that resolution list and I see how much of it really occurred. And it never fails, it always goes in thirds. 1/3 of the things I actually do, check, I anticipate doing it, I plan to do it, I did it. I came, I saw, I conquered. The second third of it seems to be, might get postponed, or there might be a modification to it. It'll still happen, but I might have to make it next year. And then 1/3 of it tends to be a surprise. Like I always say, it's blessings from heaven. 1/3 of the events that happened really were like windfalls or just something that the universe kind of sent my way. And usually those windfalls are what knocked out the other plans, right? But it never fails. It's usually really wonderful and something that I didn't anticipate. So I'm getting the sense, beginning of the week, and especially the weekend of the New Year's holiday, it's almost like you're looking in the past, and you've shared what you value in really positive ways. I think that you're a very giving person. The other thing is that the Six of Pentacles really talks about charity in a good sense. Like if you have more than enough of something, you make sure that other people around you, and that could be family, it could be friends, maybe you contribute to causes, maybe you don't you volunteer your time. But you've always really given of yourself to others, and I'm almost getting a sense like there's something that you're thinking about for the new year. Again, I'm getting a strong like New Year's Day kind of vibe from this energy, where you've looked in the past and you've thought about how you've dedicated your time, or what you value in the past, and you've always given proportionately. You've always given to those who needed it. But you have a new idea now. You have a new idea. There's the other thing that I get with the Ace of Coins being the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. He didn't know where the beanstalk was going to lead. It was almost like a brand new adventure, right? And it was exciting. I have a sense that you really have an idea for the next year, what you want to do. And the other thing I kind of get is I also get the sense that it's possible that some of that time and energy that you've been dedicating to other people or other causes, you might be taking that one coin, and it's not all of your coins, right? You've got 6 coins here, right? The other thing that I kind of get is that if it's not all of your time and energy, you are still going to be generous to the causes, but I get the sense that you might be I'm hearing reprioritizing. And that's another thing with the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. He reprioritized, right? He was supposed to sell the cow for money, and he went to the market and sold the cow for magic beans instead. But I get the sense that you want to take a chance on this new endeavor, and what you have in mind, what you want to plant the seed for. And again, it's not that you're completely giving up everything, but you're changing your priorities, and you are changing what you're going to give to, and who you're going to give to, and why, because you want to do something different. And I also get the sense that you feel like this new thing is going to be different in an exciting way. Like you want to plant the seed of something new for the new year. Now, the middle of the week, you got the 3 of Swords, and we always clarify. We went with a clarifier, and the root of this energy is justice. And you'll see that he's holding up a medal that looks like a coin, right? Now, there's a beautiful story behind this. The 3 of Swords in this deck is actually kind of a pretty card. It's still a pain card, but what it is that it's the Japanese story of the crane wife. And what it is that the crane wife, she's married, and she tells her husband, okay, she keeps sneaking away in secrecy to do something. and she asks her husband not to follow her. And what she's doing is she's hurting herself to help him, right? She's a magical creature. She turns into a crane. And what she's been doing is she's been, in the story, it's a unique story, but she hurts herself to help him. But you'll see there's lightning and rain in the background. But the moral of the story is that even though she asked her husband to not follow her, he does follow her. So he betrays his promise. And then she is also, she's also being secretive because she's telling, she's doing, self-harm. She's not telling him that she's doing it for his sake. So it's almost like she's not letting him be a part of that decision. So there's just secrets, right? There's secrets and there's lies and there's pain and there's deception. And the Three of Swords usually does talk about like a third party. But again, it doesn't have to be a third party. Again, with the Three Swords being words, it's almost like, they're the distrust or the lack of faith in one another, the dishonesty, the lies and the secrecy is the third party in that situation, the pain that they're causing one another. So what I'm sensing here is that I do get the sense with justice being underneath. I do think that if you have had some kind of situation, if in the middle of the week, if you've been dealing with a situation where you feel like someone might have been, dishonest with you, but I'm getting a strong sense that someone might have been, kind of being evasive or secretive with you, but you knew what was going on because maybe the other thing with the swords, maybe you've been following or tracking their social media, you know what's going on with them. And what I'm kind of getting here is that with the justice here, I'm kind of seeing, I read it one of two ways. Either you're really going to call each other on the truth, like you're gonna be truthful with each other and be like, look, enough of this, you lying to me, you sneaking off, you doing things without, for my sake, without telling me. Or, it's, I always do kind of see the justice as the coming to Jesus meeting, like the sitting down and really hashing some stuff out. So, and with the beginning of this week being kind of that new seed of things, I can kind of see it as like if because these two are married, maybe you are gonna, like hash some things out with your husband or wife or your partner. One other way that I can kind of see it here is that if this is if this is legal regarding some kind of separation or divorce, you might have a little bit. It is still that sitting down with one another and being completely truthful, but it is still painful. I almost get a sense that it's gonna come to light, what's been going on, and it is going to be a little uncomfortable in the middle of the week. But one thing that the one energy that I think is positive about this, because the Three of Swords is not a fun card, it is that I'm almost seeing it more like a squabble, when again, that, well, I told you, the other thing I get with the Jack and the Beanstalk, it could be, well, I told you to go pay the electric bill and then you go and bought something or did something else. And then, it's you judging one another, you sitting down and having a fight about how I am also seeing a lot of money. There's kind of bookends of money. Now, the energy can be separate. You could be dealing with work in the beginning of the week and then the middle of the week have some, marital spat kind of stuff. But the other thing that I kind of get is that if this is an ex-spouse or someone that that you have some kind of legal separation proceedings with or divorce, I think that you might be kind of going round and round with them. I do get the sense that it might be a little bit verbal and a little cutting, and not in a bad way, but it's going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be a surprise to you. It's just going to be, it's going to be you and the other person going round and round, and well, you did this and this and this. You didn't tell me the truth. Well, you've been doing this and this and this and this, and there's a wedge between you. Right, there's a wedge between you. I do see the one thing that I do love. Justice is a card of, it is a Libra card, so it is about the cooperation between two people. I don't think that cooperation is going to be lacking, but I do think that there might be a little bit of stormy conversation. It could blow over because the Three of Swords is a minor, right? But the Justice is what's the anchor of it, and that's kind of weightier because that is major. This could be just a little bit, and again, take the messages as they resonate. Energy changes from minute to minute. This does not need to have to be anything really, really scary. And justice always brightens everything, because you see kind of a bright sky. I think that maybe the other thing that it could be is that, and again, this is one of the more prettier Three of Swords. It's not. When I look at this card, I don't get as I still get a heavy heart from it, but it's for some reason it just doesn't punch me in the feels the way that like the Rider-Waite Smith does. I do think that I think that you might be calling, you and your partner might be kind of hashing out some things. The I always say it this way. I'm a Libra sun sign, and I always say, it's I'd rather have an ugly truth than a pretty lie. That's what the energy I'm kind of feeling is, that I think it's going to be ugly truth time, and I think it's gonna be the sun that burns away the clouds of all of the pretty lies, and it's necessary, right? The other thing is, it's like you see the lightning storm. Storms come through to cleanse, right? Storms come in to purify. So once and actually, when you look at it, it looks like the same trees, right? It just, one is in lightning and the other is in sun. But so, but just to throw it out there, though, so this could be some clearing the air. I do think there's going to be a few moments that it might feel a little painful, but it's going to be the truth. That's the thing. It's going to be the truth. And it's interesting. On Christmas Day, I watched the new Wonder Woman movie. I was really excited about it, and one of the themes in that movie that I thought was really beautiful is how the lasso of truth really made a lot of appearance in that, where it talked about, from the very beginning of the movie, they said, she's upset because, she didn't wasn't able to win the contest, but her aunt sits her aside and says, it's the truth, Diana. You cheated. You did not deserve to win. But that doesn't mean that you'll never deserve to win. But that's the truth. And the truth is what sets you free. The truth is what clears the air. The truth is the constant that you want to live with. And maybe it's because I'm Libra, but I just feel like if there is no deception, if you clear out those lies and start afresh on a platform of truth, you will have the security, you will have the stability that you're looking for. You'll have the foundation that is needed to support a relationship. So middle of the week, this could be a little bit of a painful conversation with someone, but I do feel like it's clearing the air, and it's starting a foundation of truth, which is what you need. Now, just one last way to kind of read it is that this could, because we do have two threes here, and unfortunately we have the two threes that kind of relate to it being third party. You might be having a conversation with somebody that might be a little bit of a breakup. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm really getting more of like the honest truth. But I get the sense that the beginning of the week, you really somebody does not want to continue to put their energy and their life force into one way of being. And this might result in you telling that person, that person, maybe you've been giving money to your family, maybe you've been, dating someone that that you don't see a future with, and that you want to say, okay, I don't think that I want to see you anymore. This is you being very honest about the foundation that you want. And sometimes the truth does sting. It's harsh. The other thing that I kind of get is that the other thing is that I don't mean to sound so calculated in this, because I do. I get upset when readers don't, when they just read the Three of Swords and don't really take into consideration how painful that card is. It's not a pretty card. And no one wants to hear, okay, well, I'm going to get broken up with, or I'm going to have this painful conversation to talk about things that these, really betrayal kind of things going on. But it's going to clear the air. The other thing is that if this is you or someone approaching you, it's not going to be a surprise. You would know that this kind of stuff has been going on. Again, these two know that there's been lies between them. It's more the principle of the thing that they both kept secrets from one another. So that'll definitely be cleared. The other thing that I kind of get is I do kind of sense that someone might be approaching you and saying, "Look, I don't want to dedicate any more money. This coin is mine. This it's almost like they're holding up the coin and saying, "Okay, I'm going to use this differently now." So you might have someone approach you and say, "Okay, that they're either no longer putting money towards something, or again, that they know something is going on, and it's gonna be a real, sit down and hash out kind of thing. And justice is a major arcana. That's a major theme. It's going to be someone who says, it could be that, it could very well be that somebody, has, for your husband for a long time, has said, okay, I want to start a new job and I want to move, and you've known about it, but you pretended like you don't know. And then they come out and say, look, I don't want to do this anymore. And it becomes a row. It becomes, like a fight, or, I do get the sense, there's something in between you. Now, the end of the week is interesting energy, because we've got the Ace and the Six of Pentacles here, and at the end of the week you got the Seven. So I am definitely seeing a theme here. I'm seeing, and it's like a triangle, and there's 3 points here, and you've got 2 threes. You've got some strong synchronicities in this week, guys. Now, the root of this is the Three of Cups. And we're going to have a tarot on the Three of Cups, actually, with this card. Oh, there you go, guys. If you watch the beginning of this reading, I hesitated in bringing out this deck because I knew I was going to be using this deck in the How to Tarot, and I didn't want to have like repeat cards. But that I was drawn to pull out the deck, and this is why. Excuse me. Is that you were probably meant to see this card before the How to Tarot comes out, because the root of the energy is the Three of Cups, and then you've got the Seven of Coins. I'm going to be very careful, because this is painful energy, guys, and I'm sorry. But I just don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to, and again, if this message doesn't resonate, don't take it. Don't take it. If this doesn't sound like your situation, then this isn't the pile for you. Either that, or maybe maybe the beginning of the week is yours, but the rest of it is not. This could be, messages for someone else. So just bear that in mind. None of this is chiseled in stone. But the Seven of Coins is about harvest. It's about something that you've invested in. And it's like you're deciding whether or not, this is actually a Mayan tale, and it's the time of harvest, right? You see all the corn, and they're deciding whether or not, that they're gonna whether or not to go ahead and host the ritual at harvest to the gods. So the Seven of Coins is very much about doing an evaluation of how much you've invested into something, and whether or not it's growing fast enough for you, and whether or not you want to invest more. And the root of this, is the Three of Cups. So, one way that I can kind of read this is that there's a few different ways. This could be that you might have been in a relationship with someone. Maybe you were living together. Maybe you were, cohabitating. And this person has decided, or this could be you as well. You could decide that you no longer, that you don't want to. The other thing that I get is that this is family or something like that. Maybe you've been giving money or giving your time or your resources, and you're deciding, okay, this is a new year. I no longer want to donate to this. I no longer want to be a part of this. And again, this doesn't necessarily just have to be love. This is marriage here, so that it's most likely a partnership, but this could be family too. Or this could be a family, pertain to a family member. But you're deciding to plant, you're deciding to do something drastic, and you know this is what you want to do. You don't want to sell the cow for coin. You want to sell the cow for magic beans and see where the beanstalk takes you. And you're determined, right? The other thing is that in the past, you've always cared about other people. You've always done what's right for other people, and you feel like it's your time to do right for yourself. But in the middle of the week, it's almost like you have to tell somebody that something's not working out. I do think that there was deception on both sides. It's not just like one person getting the swords to the chest, but I do get the sense that things have not really been on the level in your situation, and you want to lay down the law, and it really does look like he's holding up that coin and saying, okay, I want to use this coin. I'm taking this coin. I think the other thing you're going to do is you're determined. You're like, okay, I am going to go do what I want to do. The other thing that I get is that you've been wanting this for a while, and that might have been the third sword in your situation. Again, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a person. Maybe something wasn't working out, and you say, okay, I want to go and do my own thing. But it is going to feel like a Three of Swords moment to someone. You might have to tell someone, okay, I'm not paying for you anymore. And we both know it. We both know it. But I'm really feeling that sense of honesty. The truth will set you free. So this is a painful conversation, but it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Then by the end of the week, what I'm kind of seeing here is that I kind of read this two ways. If you did actually have that hash out conversation with someone, you might still feel a little bit bad about it, but I really think this is kind of a two-way situation. Depending on how this conversation falls out, you're by the end of the week, you're going to be deciding whether or not it's worth staying in this situation, because you've invested this much into it thus far. You've dedicated a lot to it. So do you want to continue to dedicate to it, or is your heart really calling you to do the Ace of Pentacles in another direction? But either way, it's going to feel like a little bit of a celebration. The Three of Cups here are the muses that talk about. Now, the interesting thing is in this story, one of the muses is that of taking risks, of gambling. One is about a fornication, which is, sex and pleasurable things. And the other one is just of abundance, and having all the fine things in life. So, I can kind of read this as being like, if you are a guy watching this, it's quite possible that maybe you've been in a relationship that hasn't been working out, and you really are like, okay, I'm gonna break up and go, contemplate partying a little bit. The other thing that this could be, so this could be you contemplating, okay, now that I've decided to break free, should I go ahead and go forward with my, my new life, however you want to plant that seed and go forward. Or the other thing that I'm kind of seeing here is that you might be contemplating, now that you've hashed out the situation, can you continue to go forward with this relationship now that you've told the truth? And the only other thing that I can see is that whenever you have the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords, it is quite possible that there might have been a little bit of infidelity, and somebody got called on it. Now, this could be infidelity with your partner. You know, if you're a guy and your girl, you know that the girl cheated on you, you can be calling her out and then deciding whether or not you're going to stay together. Or if it's the reverse, you could be deciding, okay, well, we live together. I don't see any evidence of children, but it is almost like saying, okay, am I going to put up with these partying ways? Right. The other thing is that you're the pentacle is usually the root of a lot of stability. So it could potentially mean like you deciding, okay, is this what I want? I'm getting a strong sense of what do I want. I get the sense that you want to plant the seed of stability. Um, but the end of the week is really interesting because this is real celebration energy. The other thing that I can kind of get is that if this was a breakup that was a long time coming, when you finally stood in your energy and said, okay, I'm going to put my energy somewhere else, where you might be at now by the end of the week is like, okay, this is done. And not to say that you'd be celebrating over the breakup, but I think you might be hanging out with your friends, and your friends are supporting your decision because it took a lot of strength to do it. Right. And again, this is deception between two people that's been going on for a while. So maybe it can just kind of be that weight off your shoulders of feeling like, okay, we finally had the conversation. We finally aired it out. I spoke my truth. But I do sense at the end of the week, you are still going to be in that position where it is kind of like a choice. It's like, okay, do I continue to invest in this, or is this giving me what I want? Or, should I also, the other thing that I get is that, because the muses are about, like celebration, I think you also might be consulting friends. Like you might have friends who are well aware of your situation, and by the end of the week you might be consulting your friends about how to go forward. Like, okay, should I, because it's most conversations like that aren't completely clean. And if this is some kind of separation or some kind of discussion with your ex, it could be like you saying, okay, we've invested this much, and you kind of speaking, you first off celebrating that the fact that you've had the tough conversation and you spoke your truth, so that's worth celebrating. But then also saying, okay, where do I go from here? Should it be cold turkey that I'm no longer investing in this, or how should I handle this? I've come this far. Also, as of where I'm at, what's my inventory? This can also be inventory of, just to put it out there, it can be inventory of, possessions. So, if this is a situation, but I do just I get kind of a sense of financial freedom. I just get a sense that you feel like, the other thing is that I feel like you're tired of having all of this, secrecy in between, of not being 100% truthful with someone, or, I just feel like moving forward, it's not that you're celebrating, a bad conversation. You're celebrating that you hit a milestone, and then you're taking inventory of how far you've come and where you want to go from here. Now, your advice card, or you got Elvis Presley, and it says, "You are the king. Never let reality stand in your way, and always keep heaven on speed dial." So, I am seeing, when we were shuffling, the King of Cups did want to come out. The King of Cups talks a lot about emotional love. When it comes out in this context, I really think that it's almost like you staying true to your heart. I'm really getting a strong sense of staying true to your heart. And then it says, so I get that, like, you are the King of Cups. Um, you know, um, and then it says, never let reality stand in your way. Like Jack and the Beanstalk, if you have a dream of something. The other thing is that Elvis Presley he started out, very impoverished, and he always had a dream of going into music. but always keep heaven on speed dial. I do get the sense, like, with the Seven of Coins, this is a Mayan culture ritual, but it is them, giving in communication with their God. So I do also think that maybe, I think maybe you are, I get a strong sense of consultation. Like maybe you're consulting your friends, maybe you're getting around your friends and talking about how you stood up for yourself, or you did what you needed to do, you followed your heart. But in addition to talking to your friends, maybe you are praying, or just kind of keeping in touch with your faith, as to how you're viewing this situation and how you want to move forward. But wow, guys, that was a deep read. That was really deep. And please feel free, if you get a chance, if you want to check out the Three of Cups How to Tarot, that will be up on Tuesday. But I hope that you had a wonderful first week of the new year. If you are so inclined, I'm so thankful for everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes to my channel. We've had a lot of growth in the last, in the last year, and I am so grateful. But please feel free to check out the other content on my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.